Well, day two of the FIDE Grand Swiss chess event has ended, and yet again, when you look at it, it is a rather bittersweet situation for the Indian contingent, especially Gukesh. On the top board that he was playing, he had a very good chance. He was up +2 against his opponent, but then somehow in the defensive end game that came on, he just couldn't capitalize on it, and he ended with a draw. But the other two major events will give you plenty of confidence when you look at this Indian contingent, because Praggnanandhaa put on a great show and he won his game. Arjun Erigaisi put on a clinical masterclass and ensured that on time, on the defense bit, and the end game with which he executed the rook end game, he put on a clinical show and ensured that he won his encounter as well. So Arjun Erigaisi, Praggnanandhaa, and Gukesh have all finished with 1.5 points after the first two rounds itself. Now, all the other games, Divya, after a very tough game that she had against Abhimanyu Puranik, she managed to draw today, and that is why she kind of bounced back. Vaishali Ramesh Babu put on a great show, and she also managed to win, and Harika also drew her game. But the biggest miss, and the one where she'll be the most disappointed with, is Vantika Agarwal. Vantika Agarwal was up +4 or even close to +5 against Bibisara Asuboeva. Now, Bibisara Asuboeva, you have to understand where her pedigree is. She is one of the top GMs. She did play in the freestyle Las Vegas event on an invitational basis, and she did put on a good show. But unfortunately, when there was a particular situation, the bishop had to take the pawn and she missed that. Vantika just couldn't capitalize on it. And in a long, drawn out endgame, what was a +4 situation, the advantage just evaporated right and right there. And that is why she ended up with the draw. And after the match, you could see that she was clearly not happy with the way how the match had progressed. Vantika Agarwal, that is the biggest miss that you look at it at this stage in this Grand Swiss. Every game will now matter, and more you play, more players will keep on piling on top of each other in the points table, and that is why you need to continuously win. As far as only 2 or 3 individuals are on 2 out of 2 after 2 rounds. One is Param Maksudlu, the other is Ali Reza Firuza, and looking at it, there is also Domchenko who's there with 2 points apiece. So after 2 rounds, these are the only couple of players who are there. Vidit Gujarati also drew his game as well. So that's why for the Indian contingent, yet again today, it was a rather bittersweet situation, same like day one. Gukesh was the one who excelled on day one. Pragg and Arjun drew their games. Today, Pragg and Arjun have won. Gukesh has drawn his game. Vidit also drew his game after a solid first game. Then Vaishali, when you look at her, she's done very, very well on the women's section and she's in good form. Harika also solid, but yet hasn't pushed for a win in a big way. Divya Deshmukh has shown tremendous promise. She has shown that yes, she can go out there with the best in the business, and that's why after 2 rounds, half a point. But remember, she's playing in the open category as well. So tomorrow there will be one more round that will take place, and it'll be interesting to see what the pairings will be, because most of the Indian contingent, Vidit, Leon Mendonça, even Nihal Sareen was game today as well. So Nihal Sareen, Leon Mendonça, Gukesh, Praggnanandhaa, Arjun Erigaisi, everybody is on 1.5 points, and it'll be very interesting to see how they can ensure they go ahead of the pack in more ways than one. Remember, Grand Swiss is a very, very complicated event, and it's not necessary that people who have won the first 2 rounds, they will go on and win the tournament. Vidit had lost his opening rounds in Isle of Man, but he still went on to win the tournament and ensure that he had qualified for the candidates then. Very important times until 15th, because you have to ensure that you finish in the top two. Top two, remember, from the open and from the women's category go into the candidates qualification. And yes, short chess, I know that Gukesh was winning. He had a nearly +2, +3 advantage when you look at the end games. But somewhere down the line, he just could not go for it. And that is why very sad situation for Gukesh that he couldn't capitalize on it. Very surprising that he couldn't crack that end game in a big, big way. And there is one question that has been asked, Yagya Krishna. If Divya wins Grand Swiss, she'll qualify for open candidates? No. She's already qualified for the women's candidates, and you cannot make that jump from the women to the open that easily. Because remember, it is very, very important that Divya chose to play in the open. She and the other one, Alexandra Goryachinka and Divya decided to play in the open category, and that's why they will not qualify for the open category candidates if she wins Grand Swiss, which looks rather difficult because after 2 rounds she's just got half a point. She lost to Abhimanyu Puranik when she was actually in a good position. So it's a good day for the Indian contingent, but it could have been better had Gukesh managed to win his game. But Arjun Erigaisi in particular, he looks incredibly strong. And the prospect of 4 Indians going to the candidates yet again in 2026 is very, very bright because you've got Pragg, who can qualify through the FIDE circuit of 2025. You've got Arjun Erigaisi, who can either go now or in the World Cup. You also have a certain Nihal Sareen, you have Leon Mendonça, you have Vidit. All of them can do really, really well in this coming 2 months. So, good second day also for the Indian contingent with 2 wins by Pragg and Arjun. Gukesh draw slightly bittersweet, and Vantika, that blunder that she did against Bibisara Asuboyeva, that will really, really hurt her in this Grand Swiss. Hope she can bounce back. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this update. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.